Hey folks, it's Dane here at JONAH Guitars, and it's been got to be a couple weeks since I put a video up because I've been traveling. I was in, well, I went to Long Beach first, but I think I put a video up after that for a week, and then I headed back to Champaign, Illinois to help my daughter out with a project. She just bought a house, and I helped her with some work on that for a couple weeks. So I'm back, and I think life is going to get back to normal here, so some videos besides this one will be coming out. I've still got projects. I'm looking, it's hanging here, but it's done, and I'm just the arch top with the back off of it to replace bracing. That's still coming up, or I'm still loading those. Editing and loading those videos. The Martin. There's a Martin project, unless I finished it. Oh gosh, I don't even know. I'm still in a haze from the 2-hour time difference to the Midwest there, so forget about what I just said because I don't even know if it's right. So I got a thing that I came back to. I rewired a Telecaster right off the bat. A guy called me, and I got him in this morning, and now I was drilling dot holes in a neck on a guitar I'm building, and one of them went a little awry, and I'm going to show you what happened, and I'm going to show you what I plan on doing to fix it. So rather than just leaving a dot that's crooked, I'm going to set up again, and I'll show you what I do to actually fix the dot, move it over a little bit. So we'll see how all that works out. All right, hang on, we'll get there. All right, I think we got set up here. So what I want to show you is that when you lay out a fretboard and you have dots, you need to, you're going to line out and figure out where you want your dot. Then you're going to put a little bit of a punch mark in your fretboard. Now once you're positive it's crisscrossing the lines where you've laid your mark out, then you just pop it in there pretty solid. And I'm going to do a couple of them. I think one of the reasons that I missed a little bit was that it wasn't quite as deep as it should have been, as I'm showing you here. Now, the other problem I have is that my drill press, I will say that if you have a CNC machine, disregard this video. You won't need it. I have a little bit of run out in my chuck. This is a brand new bit, 6mm. I ordered a set of these millimeter bits. They're fish, or fish, whatever. Got the CH at the end of fish. So when the drill's running, and I'm going to be right in the way. I'm going to try to avoid being in your way. You got the little tiny point right on the end. It's called a brad point. Now if you hold your neck loosely and it comes down, right as it starts to make contact, it's going to find that hole, and it's going to center itself up as you get far enough in. But you got to leave it a little slack. Now what happened is that I flipped the neck around and I had the butt end of the neck and everything else was hanging off. So I really should have used an auxiliary table to support the weight of the neck, so I didn't have to push on the neck. Because I think what happened was I was pushing on the neck to hold it against the table, and it didn't self-center, so it was slightly off. So this is what it looks like. If you're a little off, it will pull the block over. Watch the block. See, it's a line. See it's moving? So it just centered itself perfectly. Same thing now. See it move? It may be too subtle for you to see in the camera, but that one looked pretty good. Okay. So those all went right down where it was at. Here's something else I'm going to show you, and my monitor on my screen just went off for some reason. Okay. So when you have a brad point, you see you have that center hole, and so let me grab my neck real quick. trying to do this without resetting the camera a million times. I may just explain to you what I'm doing and then do it without having this hanging over my head. But I straight edged the whole neck and all of the dots, and they were all perfect except for this one. So like I said, I was holding the neck down so tight here that it wouldn't allow it to do that adjustment. And then when I did these, I turned it back around and did it the other way so I could hold it more loosely in it, and they tracked really well. So I just need a larger outboard table here. I've dealt with this a lot over the years, but it's been a while because I've been doing more elaborate inlays, so I haven't been drilling dots. So anyway, I'm going to try to get this ruler on here. Now believe me, I've seen a lot of builders on YouTube, and I can guarantee you that this much misalignment wouldn't bother most of them. So it would just be misaligned and never mentioned. I've seen some string ferrules that have been so far out of whack that it's just nauseating. Oh, this stupid camera. I don't understand it. Oh, it's the phone, actually. Alright, so now my dots are lined up. So I'm not even sure the ruler's in the right place anymore, because it's all been moving while I'm trying to get into the screen here. Anyway, so you can see that last dot is a little misaligned. Plus I filled the last dot up with some super glue in order to have the pilot hole come down to a flat surface rather than just keep grabbing that same hole and going that way. I should set this camera up in a better position. Anyway, what I'm going to do, hold the neck here, I'm going to two-way tape a piece of stock across these holes lined up, and then run the bit down, rubbing the piece of stock. And I'll do that and I'll bring you back, but I'll turn you off for right now. Okay, it says I got 16% battery, so here, let's hope this will go. Got an auxiliary fence on the table to help support the neck as it pushes out. I'm going to get right over here. I've got this block taped down. I've turned the blade so that the point is, the widest part of the blade will be rubbing this block here. And I'm going to just line everything up. Just touching the block so that I have that position. And I'm going to pull my visor down so I can see. Okay. That should be good. So I'm just holding this really tight so when I turn the drill press on it doesn't kick on me. Oh, I did lose my light, didn't I? My other light went out. I'll try this one. Hopefully that doesn't wash everything out. Okay, I'm right on the line, so I should be able to put my dots in. It's going to be such a small amount of fill over here that just some Wingate desk will be fine. Nobody's ever going to see that. Just one of those things that happens occasionally and you just have to deal with it. So that's it, folks. Well, I'm back. I'm not sure how much of the drill press action you got. What I would love to be able to tell you is that let's do this. I'd love to be able to tell you is that the drill followed the edge of that block down and actually drilled the hole where I wanted it. But what happened instead was the point just went back into the point and just pulled the drill over. So I decided to employ a couple
little tools here. This is probably not able to see, but it's a gouge. So it's got a little bit of a radius on this back edge of it, so it actually fits that the radius of the dot pretty well, although that's not super critical. And then also just various X-Acto knives. I just happened to grab this thinner one because it had a better blade in it. So I clamped the 6-inch rule here in line with the other dots, as you can see, and then I basically went right up against the 6-inch rule and pushed into the cavity to create the right space. Undercut it and just tracked around the circle a little bit with it, with that, between that and razor blades, X-Acto knives, and so now the dot is in the right place. When I glue it, I will stick a free blade, one that's not in the knife, in there. I don't know why this camera, my phone keeps going to dead screen on me. Sometimes it doesn't do it. Let me let that fall over. So let me show you what I'm talking about by sticking a blade in there. So just so that it doesn't find its own, basically, well, it works really well when this camera's not running. So I guess there's just too much of a space in there right now. But I definitely will figure out a way, maybe a toothpick point or something, just to keep that pushed over. Of course, I have my fingers in the way. Well, completely in the way. Well, and I got glue on my blade. So anyway, that's what's going to happen. I'm sorry, this isn't working out very well. But I do have toothpicks right here. I got to tell you, life was a lot simpler before I was filming this stuff. But so some sort of a sliver or something in there just to hold that thing over and keep it up against where it needs to be. So there you have it. So I can glue these in now. I still haven't drilled my 12th fret markers. I'm just going to drop down to 5 millimeters on those. And so there it is. They finish up on a little bit of a screw up, just trying to make it perfect. You can see that I could barely I couldn't get the blade to stay in there, so it's a little bigger now, but a toothpick point is how much fill I'm going to have. So not a big deal at all. All righty. Thanks for watching, folks. Have a great rest of your day, whatever time it happens to be. Go make some dust.